Happy Wednesday, you all. Well, today we are going to finish our notes for 8.1 volume of cylinders. So today you are going to need either your notebook, your paper from yesterday, or your printed 8.1 notes from yesterday. Need pencil, colored pencils, pens, and a calculator because we will need to be doing some calculations involving pi. So pause the video, go grab those items, and then come back. Okay. So just like yesterday, we are still working on calculating volume of a cylinder. Today we are actually going to be calculating either the radius or the height of the cylinder using the volume formula. And don't forget your volume formula for volume of a cylinder, pi times the radius squared times the height. The pi times the radius squared, that's the circle. Okay, so using the formula to determine the height of the cylinder. So our formula, pi times the radius squared times the height. Go ahead and pause the video for just a moment if you don't have the notes printed, and go ahead and sketch these cylinders along with the numbers that you're given. When you're done doing that sketching and writing down those numbers, go ahead and press play on the video again. Okay, so the first thing that I am noticing on A is that instead of the radius, I am given the diameter, which is the entire distance across that circle. Remember, radius is from the center of the circle to the outside. So if our diameter is 10 inches, our radius is going to be half of that. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So our radius is 5 inches. We don't know the height. That's what we're going to be finding out. And we are told that the volume is 314 inches cubed. So, using our formula, we're going to start filling in the pieces that we know. Well, we know our volume is 314. Pi stays pi. And we know our radius is 5 inches. Our unknown is the height. So I will do 5 squared, which is 25. Okay. And now here's where it can get a little bit different. So I'm going to leave all of these. And the first thing I'm going to do is to divide both sides by 25. Okay, and I need my calculator. Hello, calculator. Guys, I've lost my calculator. Oh, I think I put it in something. Aha! Tra-la-la! Okay, and hopefully I have a pi button somewhere. Bing, bing, bing. There we go. Okay, so because I'll need that. All right, so I need to do 314 divided by 25, 314 divided by 25, 12.56. So 12.56, and that equals pi times height. Well, just like solving any other equation, I'm going to go ahead and move this up here so I've got some more room. I want to get the unknown by itself. So right now my unknown is height. So I am going to divide both sides by pi. And then I will have height all by itself. So I'm going back to my calculator. I've got my 12.56, and I'm going to divide that number by pi. And that equals 3.997. So if I am rounding to my nearest tenth, that second 9 is going to round our first 9 up to a 10. So that means that it's going to equal around 4 inches. And since we're just finding the height is only one dimension that we're looking at, so we don't put anything by the inches. It's just 4 inches. Okay, if you would like to try example B on your own, go for it. If you want to follow me through this one, then keep listening. So again, I am given the diameter of this shape, of this circle, which is 8 centimeters. So if my diameter is 8 centimeters, my radius is half of that. So half of 8 is 4. So my radius is 4 centimeters. My height, I don't know. And the volume is 176 cubic centimeters, or centimeters cubed. So now I'm going back to my formula. Pi times the radius squared times the height. And I'm going to start filling in what I know. So I know my volume is 176. Pi is pi. My radius is 4. And my height's what I'm trying to figure out. So 176 equals pi. 4 squared is 16. Okay. Now I want to start moving things so I can get that h by itself. Well, the first thing I'm going to move is that 16. So I'm going to divide by 16 on both sides. Back to my calculator. Clear. So 176 divided by 16 equals 11. So I'm left with pi times h over here. And to get the h by itself, I'm going to divide both sides by pi. Back to my calculator. So 11 divided by pi equals 3.50. So my height is about 3.5 centimeters. And that's how you figure out the height if you're missing the height. So now what I'm going to do is, we've already done this problem. I forgot, I already put it on there. So we are just going to leave that and move on to this problem, the second problem. And then I've also got some other problems for us to work. Okay, so on this problem, again, we're given diameter, and the diameter is 3 inches. So our radius must be 1.5 inches. Okay, the height, so our radius, 1.5, our height, we don't know, and the volume is 25 cubic inches. Oopsie. Too enthusiastic right there. Okay, so I'm actually going to move my work over here. So volume is pi times the radius squared times the height. We'll start filling in for what we know. Our volume is 25. Pi is pi. Our radius is 1.5. And our height is what we're trying to figure out. Okay. 1.5 squared, I happen to know that that is 2.25. If you didn't know that, you can use your calculator. That's what you have it for. So from here, I'm going to start moving things by dividing. Okay, and 25 divided by 2.25 is 1.11111, repeating. So 11.1 is what we're going to put. We'll round. Okay, and to get that h by itself, I am dividing both sides by pi. So I'm going back to my calculator, and I'm taking my answer, dividing it by pi, and I'm getting 3.53. So that's going to round. Our height is about 3.5, and that would be inches. Perfect. Okay, if you would like some additional practice problems, there you go. So for these, they're slightly different because we are given the height, but we are not given the radius. So I am going to work through the first one with you, and then you can try the second one on your own. So again, we start with our formula. Okay, and we fill in what we know. Okay, and then we start dividing. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide both sides by 20. So 7599 divided by 20, double checking to make sure I got that number. Yep, and that equals 379.95. 3.79.95. Okay, I need to find out the radius. So again, I'm going to divide by pi on both sides. Back to my calculator. Divided by pi, 120.94. So this is going to be 120.9. That equals the radius square. So remember, we just want the radius. So what we need to do is get the square root of both sides to give us the radius. And so our radius, I can go back here, and 120.9 square root. Oh, I need to do the square root first. Got it. 120.9 equals 10.99. So if I am rounding to the nearest tenth, the second 9 is going to tell me to round the first 9 to a 10. Well, that's not going to work. So rounding the 10 up is what we need to do. So it comes out to be 11 meters. And again, we're just finding the radius, which is one dimension, so we don't put any numbers next to the m. Last one, same type of problem. We're figuring out the height on this one, so we're back to the height. So our volume is 7,850. Pi is pi. Our radius is 10, and our height's what we're figuring out. So 10 squared is 100. And now to start getting the h by itself, I'm going to start dividing things. So I'm going to divide by 100 first. So 7,850 divided by 100. Oopsie. 7,850 divided by 100. 78.5. And now on this side we're left with pi times h. To get the h by itself, I'll divide by pi on both sides. $24.98, so that 8 is going to tell our 9 to bump up. Well, we can't do that without bumping up the ones place, so this is about 25 feet. Okay, so your homework is on Google Classroom. As always, it's again through Big Ideas Math. If you're having technical difficulties, just log into the Big Ideas Math website and go to the Student Dynamic ebook. You're looking for text page 339. So for this, we are still in section 8.1, text page 339, and then you're doing 13 through 15, 18, and 21 through 23. Tomorrow, we will start working on volume of cones. Yes! If you have any questions, please send me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. I hope you have a great day.